Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Okay, so we shall move on to the lecture now. So the topic of today's discussion is on the another method of fabrication of composites. It is the compression molding. We shall move on to the introduction. Compression molding, it is a well-known and one of the oldest technique to develop the composite products, and it is a high-pressure closed molding process. It is suitable to manufacture small to medium-sized parts. Simple to complex shape can be produced in this, and since it is a high-pressure process, the pressure is applied with the help of a hydraulic mechanism which involves some incompressible oils. Okay, so what are the raw materials used in this process? The reinforcing materials which are used are the high performance fibers and some natural fibers like glass fiber, which is the synthetic, carbon fibers, aramid fiber. These are the high performance fibers used in the as the reinforcement. And apart from that, you can use a natural fibers also, which has a high strength, like sisal, banana, nettle, hemp, flax, etc. These fibers can be used in the form of a unidirectional, where you align all the fibers in the same direction, unidirectional type of fibers you can make, or bidirectional woven mat, where there is a warp and weft type of a situation, woven mat, and you can stitch this into a fabric form, or you can make a mat of randomly oriented fibers, like you can take a short fibers or a chopped fibers and then use this, or you can use the whiskers also. And here in this process, the material which is used for molding, it is in the called the charging material. Charging material is the one which is used for molding. Okay, so what is this charging material? This charging material used in this compression molding process, there are two charging materials used. One is the bulk molding compounds, which is abbreviated as BMC, and the sheet molding compounds, which is called SMC. These are the charging materials used in this process. So before going into the manufacture, you need to understand what is the BMC and SMC. What is this BMC? BMC is a bulk molding compound. It is a bulky mixture of chopped glass fibers, resin paste, and fillers. So BMC is a bulk molding compound. So what does it contain? It contains some chopped glass fibers and some resin paste and some fillers. There are many ingredients are present, and one of the ingredient, commonly used ingredient, is the in the reinforcement, as a reinforcement, is the glass fiber, which is the e-glass fiber. And here this chopped glass fibers, these are mixed with the number of ingredients like resin paste, which is a matrix material, and fillers, which are used to reduce the weight of the composite, and some other materials also, like a thickener, release agents, whatever ingredients are required, and color. If you want to make the composite in a colored form, you can add some pigments. If you want to make the composite UV resistant, you can apply some UV chemicals, so that you mix this in the form of a doff. Okay, something like a doff. So that doff is something where you can the typical example for doff is something like an atta, where you take the atta and mix with water, and then when you just using your hand, if you make a mixture, what will happen? It will be like a uh, uh, something like a atta. Okay, so the mixture that will contain some liquid, milk, water, and some flour. Okay, just like for preparing chapatis, you may have seen in the homes. So that is the dough. This BMC is usually mixed in the form of a dough, and then this mixing of these chemicals and pigments and these fibers and matrix, everything is performed with the help of a equipment which has a complete setup in that. I will just show you the diagram. So that the material which is produced is in the form of a duff. Okay, so it will be sold in the form of a log, which is like a wooden log, or in the form of a rope form. Okay, so here how this process is done, I will just show you a schematic diagram. This is the complete compounding system for BMC, where you can see here the polyester resin, catalyst and pigments are loaded and mixed, and then it is infused inside this process. They're mixed inside the metering tank, and it is introduced. And here, through the glass roving reels, these glass fibers are chopped, and then they are introduced inside the mixture, where this resin, catalyst and pigment, these are mixed with this chopped fibers, and then here you get the BMC, which is in the form of a log or in the form of a rope. Okay, so the extruded log, whichever is coming out, depending upon the length you need, you can cut them using a pneumatic type of a cutter, so that the cutter will cut this into the desired length, and then you will get the BMC ready. Okay, so this is the schematic diagram. Just I'm explaining you it in a brief manner, because this is the charging material for the compression molding. And if you see this BMC, for this BMC, if you observe the chopped glass fibers, if you are using, or you can use the other fibers also, like carbon or aramids also, you can use in the form of a chopped fibers and mix them with the pigment and the resin. So here the fiber content should be between the 10 to 25%, that is important, and the length of the fibers varies from 6 to 12 meters. Okay, so here this BMC fiber range should be in this region, because if it goes more fibers, if you add, the problem is the resin transfusion inside the fibers will become difficult, because if there is more fibers, then the resin penetration inside the fibers become difficult. So for that, there is a limit is kept between 10 to 25%. And the common reinforcements, which I have already told you for the BMC, is the high performance fibers like glass, carbon, aramid, and natural fibers like sisal, hemp, etc., natural organic fibers. And through this process, you get a BMC like this. You can see the schematic diagram of BMC in different colors. This is the BMC, which is the bulk molded compound. This is a mixture of the chopped fibers, resin, fillers, and other ingredients. Okay, so this is how you obtain the BMC. And then what is SMC? SMC is something which is a thin sheet. It is the sheet molding compound. From the name itself, you can understand something is molded in the form of a sheet. Okay, so these are the thin sheets which is pre-compounded with the thermoset resin and are used in the compression molding process. There is a process where the SMC is prepared, where that involves two phases, which is the compounding and maturation. Compounding is nothing but where you are adding some chemicals in the process. That is the compounding. Okay, that is the ingredients which you are introducing in the process. So what happens during compounding and what happens during maturation, that you need to understand. So during the compounding, what happens? The fibers are embedded between the two thin layers of the resin paste by chopping fibers or swirling the continuous fibers onto the sheet of plastic film on which the resin initiator or filler mixture has been doctored. Doctored means it is metered and introduced into that. So that what is that? Once again, I will explain you. The fibers are embedded in between the two thin layers of the resin paste. Between the two thin layers of the resin paste, the fibers are embedded. That is one way of making this SMC. Another way is you can just swirl, you can just rotate the continuous fibers onto the sheet of plastic film on which the you are applying the resin. Okay, so that is possible. You can in the resin, in the sense where the resin initiator is something like a catalyst which will increase the rate of the reaction, and filler and other things are doctored, in the sense metered, you can see. Okay, so there will be another film that also contains the resin mixture, which is doctored and placed on the top, so that you get a sandwich of the resin mixture. Chopped glass is passed between the compound compaction rolls, so that what will happen, once it is compacted, it becomes like a sheet. Okay, so this compaction rolls to wet the fibers and mix the constituents. What constituents? That is the chopped glass fibers with the mixture of the resin paste and the film. These will get made into a compact sheet. Okay, this is the first step, which is called the uh, compounding, where you embed the two thin layers of the resin paste by chopping the fibers. Okay, there is embedding, means just keeping something inside between the two layers of the resin paste, or you can just take the continuous fibers on the plastic film where you apply the resin. There are two ways of doing this, and once you do that, uh, what you do is you just pass this to the compaction roll. The sandwich which you have prepared, you will pass to the compaction roll, so that what will happen, the resin will wet the chopped fibers and it will penetrate inside the fibers, so that the constituents are mixed to make a sheet. And here the thing is, after the compounding is done, you will do the maturation. The maturation is nothing but the curing process. What is this curing process? Where the material which is impregnated with the fibers, like a prepreg, that prepreg will be cured. Okay, in curing there are three stages, which I have already explained you during my previous lectures. There is a stage, B stage, and C stage. A stage means it is very slightly cured. B stage means it is partially cured. C stage means it's completely cured. Okay, so that if it is in the B stage, you can say that it is in the form of a gel. Okay, it is in the highly viscous state, but it is not cross-linked completely. So that what you can do, once you have a B stage type of a composite, then what you can do, you can use this for further curing in the molding process, because it is partially cured. Okay, so that is why this is the sheet molding compound is something which is partially cured thing, like a prepreg. Okay, so here I will just show you a small schematic diagram of this sheet molding compound manufacture. For this, here you can see there is a carrier film roll which is passing through these rollers, and here there is a resin paste is applied here, and over this you see, as I have explained you, the fibers which are chopped or sprayed over this. There are two ways of doing this. One is you just apply a carrier film roll, which will be mixed with the resin and the chopped fibers, and it will go outside. Otherwise, there are another way of doing this. You can just apply the continuous strand roving, and over this through another carrier film roll, you can the another carrier film roll with the help of a resin paste, both are coming here. So one is the continuous strand roving, and another is the carrier film roll which is infused with the resin. Both will come together so that it will get compacted. This shows both the process are in this figure. One is this particular process where there is a resin paste which is in contact with the carrier film roll, over which the chopped fibers are embedded. That is the one way of doing this. So that, as I have explained in the previous slide, that is, the fibers are embedded between the two layers of a resin paste by chopping fibers, which I just explained you. Like that, you can do this, or else what you can do is another film that has also the resin mixture doctored onto it and placed on the top. Okay, there is another film which in this process, where there is another film you can see in this diagram. Okay, so continuous strand roving is passed, so that through this here there is a resin paste is infused through, where there is another carrier roller is coming, so that in between this continuous strand roving and this carrier film roll, in between that there is a resin paste, so that it is like a sandwich. So this sandwich pass over to multiple compaction rollers, so that what will happen, this compaction rollers will make the resin to infuse inside the fibers. And once it is infused, then the next process is the curing process. Okay, so it is collected in the take-up roll, and it will be sent for curing process, where you do the partial curing. Okay, you do not cure it completely. Once if you cure it completely, then you cannot do the further molding process. Okay, so if you see the typical formulation which is used in the sheet molding compound is a number of ingredients, like for example, if you are using a polyester as a resin, in that case you can use the polyester, some low shrinkage additive, because polyester fibers generally have a shrinkage problem during the curing, which lead to some sink marks. If you recall our discussion in the previous lectures, there is some presence of some sink marks that happen. So that is one of the problem. And there you will add some diluent to dissolve the polyester, so that it will be in the viscosity can be controlled. You add a styrene monomer, fillers you add, which is the calcium carbonate, to reduce the weight. Thickener you add sometimes to make some viscous type of so increase the viscosity. Then catalyst you add to speed up the reaction. And the mold release agent, this is very important. What is this mold release agent? Because if you see during this process, if you do not use this mold release agent, what will happen? The composite which is formed will okay, when you apply heat and pressure, it will just melt and it will stick to the tools of the machine. So that is not a desirable thing. So that you add a mold release agent. Mostly these are the like oils, fats, and waxes in the form of some soaps, you can say zinc stearates. This is added, so that what will happen, this mold release agent normally have a less melting point than the fiber or the matrix material, so that it will quickly melt and then it will penetrate inside the surface. So that what will happen, the surface will be in the form of a polish, like a butter paper. So that what will happen, the surface will be little glossy and smooth, so that the composite formed can easily be removed. Okay, it is a release agent. An inhibitor for preventing any kind of a premature curing. If it is curing is done very faster, like very heat is highly, you apply very high heat, that will lead to a premature curing, which is not a desirable thing, that you can prevent by using this inhibitor. So these are the multiple materials which are used to prepare the SMC, similar to BMC. And then here you add the reinforcement also. So reinforcement of around say 30%, and matrix and other chemicals, resin paste is around 70%. Totally 100% you take and then carry out this process. So out of this process, you make the sheet molding sheets. You can make from this. And here, if you observe the chopped fibers, or it has a high length of around 25 millimeter, and this possible to produce lengths of around 12 to 75 millimeter. Okay, so this is a great advantage in this process. So the fiber length used is much higher when compared to the DOF molding compound or the bulk molding compound. And recently, continuous fibers are also used to obtain the higher strength. So comparatively, if you observe, the bulk molding compounds do not use the high length. It is just the 6 to 12 millimeter length only is used. But whereas if you observe in the sheet molding compounds, the fiber length used is much higher. Okay, so that is an advantage, because that the fiber length increases, fiber is the one which finally decides the strength of the composite. So it will withstand more strength. So that is an advantage. And the product that is produced in the form of a sheet, okay, that is the called the SMC, which is the sheet molded compound. Okay, so far I have explained you about the how the charging material is to be produced before you perform this compression molding. Okay, so this is the two important materials. One is the bulk molding compound or the sheet molding compounds. Both can be used in the compression molding. Okay, so this is why I explained this BMC and SMC. And what are the matrix material that can be used? So this process, unlike the resin transfer molding, sorry, not the resin transfer, I'm sorry, the filament winding, there is no restriction on use of the other matrices. Here, you can use both the matrices, both the thermosetting matrices like epoxy, polyester, polyvinyl ester, phenolic resin, unsaturated polyester, polyurethane, urea formaldehyde. You can use this, or you can use the thermoplastic also can be used in this, polypropylene, polyethylene, nylon, polycarbonate, etc. These kind of thermoplastic polymers can be used, and along with it you can use some natural polymers like polylactic acid, soy based plastic, starch based polymers. These can also be used. Okay, so it is a here the opportunity of using both the thermoset and thermoplastic is possible. So coming down to the procedure, how does this process work? So first I will show you a small schematic diagram. This is how the compression molding process looks like. Here you can see there is a lower half and there is an upper half of a die, which is otherwise called the mold. Okay, so this lower half remains stationary in most of the cases, and upper half will be the moving type of a mold. Okay, over this mold lower half, you can see there is a small gap here. Okay, here you keep this charge. What is this charge? I have already explained you. This charge is the starting material for this raw material, which contains both the fibers and the matrix. You introduce this here in the form of a BMC or in the form of a SMC. Okay, there is a small gap here, you can see here. So here at the bottom, you can see there is a small ejector pin is there, because this ejector pin will is used to eject out the manufactured composite. Okay, so this is the ejector pin at both the sides, you can see here. And at the upper half, you can see there is a movable mold half, which is in a moving form, which will come and close this lower half. Okay, you can see here there is a shape which you can understand, and there is a small space here which is kept here. You can see here there is a shear edge, and over this small space is also kept. This space is kept intentionally because this space, when this is compressed, when this movable mold comes down and compress this BMC or SMC, what will happen? The resin will melt and then it will come outside. So when it comes outside, what will happen? It may go to some distance, so that you can just make but you may be needing only this particular area. So that particular area, excess of that you may not need, so that you can just cut them out, so that these two sides are intentionally kept so that you want a particular shape of the composite. I will just show you a small video that explains how this process is performed. You can just have a look. Okay, so this is a brief diagram, video which explains the compression molding process. If you observe here, there is a presence of an actuator which is not shown in this diagram. This actuator will actually push this, make this mold to come down, actually to compress this. This process is something like a stamping, where the upper half of the mold will just move down and then it will just compress it. It will apply some compressive force over the lower half, and it will and then once it is compressed, then it will move up. Okay, that is how this composites are manufactured using this process. And if you observe, this process involves important process parameters like for developing the superior and desired properties of the composite. So there are multiple parameters are involved, but if you observe in any composite manufacturing process, three things are very important. One is the heat, and another is the pressure, and another is the time. These three things play a vital role in the manufacturing of the composite. Okay, so if you see in this compression molding also, the mold heating rate, at what rate it is heated, that is important. And mold cooling rate is also important, because for certain matrices like thermoplastic matrices, the cross-linking, I'm not sorry, the cross-linking, it is the polymerization happens because of the cooling only, because the mold becomes, the composite gets solidified. The composite becomes solidified only after it is cooled. Okay, that cooling, through the cooling only, the process is completed. Okay, the composite becomes ready. Okay, so cooling rate is also important. And what is the maximum applicable pressure? This is the another most important thing, because here you are applying a compressive force, so that pressure involved is higher. So what is the maximum applicable pressure? This you can control so that you can obtain the desired composite compression rate, curing time. This is very important for certain matrices like epoxy. If you observe, the curing time is much higher. Okay, certain matrices may involve a less time, which you can actually increase the time of the curing by, you can reduce the time of the curing by adding some catalyst in this, so that the curing time can be reduced. This is actually possible to optimize. So that is the thing. And among these these parameters, the other important parameters are the quality of charge that is put into the mold. What is the quality you have made? Because here you are using the two important charge. One is the BMC and another is the SMC. So what is the quality of the charge you are keeping in the mold? That is important. And what is the pressure that you are using? For example, for this compression molding process, you are using a high pressure. The pressure will be around, say, 2000 to 3000 psi, and temperature of the mold is also very higher, around say 149 to 191 degrees centigrade. And curing time variables, that is important, because this time of curing is very important, especially for matrices like thermosetting matrices. We generally do the preheating to make it in the form of a gel, so that the viscosity will increase, molecular weight will increase, and after that you will keep it in the oven where you perform the cross-linking is done for much time, so that the cross-links happen. Okay, so curing time variable is also very important. And if you see, this process is highly advantageous process. Why it is advantageous? Because the production rate is high, as the mold cycle time is in few minutes. It is just like a stamping, where the upper jaw will come and just do a stamping, and then it will go top. Okay, and here another great advantage is the surface of the composite that you have manufactured, that will have a good surface finish with a different texture and styling. This can be achieved because the surface will be smoother. Okay, and here the high part uniformity is achieved with the compression molding process. What is this high part uniformity? So that whatever parts you are producing, that actually you will finish them, cut them the required size, so that you get a uniform structure can be produced. And improved impact strength due to no degradation of fibers during the flow. So that is possible. For example, this will be definitely possible if you use SMC rather than BMC, because SMC, you have the fiber content and the fiber length is higher, so you get a good impact strength. Okay, so that is possible. Good flexibility in part design, that is possible depending upon what type of design you need. You can do this process. And another thing is, you can add extra features like inserts, bosses, and attachment. these are can be added inside this composite. That is possible. And raw material wastage is minimum. This is also advantageous. And maintenance cost is low. And residual stresses are absent or negligible in the molded component, so that once it is stamped, it is ready, so that there won't be any residual stresses left. And shrinkage obtained in this process is much less when compared to shrinkage or some twisting happening is low because of the uniform flow. Because here you have already prepared, it is like you have a semi-cured type of a composite already. You have made a semi-cured type of a composite, and then you are doing the molding using this compression molding technique, so that you get the uniform shrinkage throughout the area. In one place where the shrinkage is much higher, another place the shrinkage is lower. That kind of situation does not happen here. Okay. So the twisting and the shrinkage in the product is reduced, so that dimensional accuracy is good. So greatly advantageous. But apart from that, there are some disadvantages also. Because of the expensive machinery and parts involved, because of the parts involved, the initial capital investment associated with the compression molding is higher, and the process is suitable for high production volume. Okay, so if you use only for small production volume, then in that case it will be difficult for you to make a profit out of it. And curing time is larger, it takes more time to cure, and not suitable to produce very large sized products because of the design of the mold. Okay, large sized, like for example, if you want to make a long products like full-throated product which has a very high length, that is not possible to make it. And it is not suitable for making small number of parts or for prototyping applications. That is not possible, which is related to the second point, which I have already told you. And it is a labor intensive process. It is not as manual like a programmed, though the heat, pressure and time you can adjust it using this control panel programs can be done. But it involves some labor, because you see, once you keep the charge inside and then just to do the compression, and when the resin comes out, you cut them into required size and then do this, so that it is a labor intensive process. And another disadvantage is it involves some secondary processing. What is that secondary processing? Trimming and machining. Okay, for example, the resin which is coming out from this surface, whichever is coming out, any thing is coming out at the side because of the melting, so that has to be cut to the required size. So that trimming operation and the machining operations are also involved in this. And another disadvantage is, though you do this trimming and machining operation to make it into a good composite, it generates some scrap. Though the scrap generated is less, but still it generates some scrap. So processing that scrap is very difficult, because, for example, if you say if it is a thermoset type of a matrix, if you have used doing the compression molding, what will happen? This thermoset, if you are using, if it is completely converted into the C stage type of a, if it is reaches the C stage, completely it is cured. In that case, what will happen? You cannot recover it back. It is not a reversible process. So in the case, you have to only destroy it. Okay, so that will be difficult. And sometimes uneven parting lines are there. Okay, so uneven parting lines in the sense, for example, if you see this figure, if you want a particular size, so sometimes you may not get some accurate size. At some distance, if you want to make a particular design, so at a particular, for example, this is one big BMC you are keeping. You want to make one product in this size, another product in this size, and another product in this size, and another product in this size. That type of unevenness may happen when you make a line, so that uneven because of the compression, that there may be some shifting in these lines, so that may happen. So that is possible. That is one of the disadvantages. And there is no limitation on the mold depth. Depending upon the pressure you apply, it will get compressed. Okay. So that is another thing. And application, since it is a very commercially successful process, there are a wide variety of applications because this method is applicable to both thermoplastic and thermoset polymer based composite products. And applications are much higher, especially from the kitchen goods to automobiles. Automobile sector has a very good applications, toys, electrical parts, aeroplane parts, and in typical products include the automobile panels, roof, life gates, battery trays, fenders, knobs, that is the door knobs, hoods, bumpers, that is the used bumpers which are used in the vehicles that can be made, spoilers, air defenders, air deflectors, and then this kitchen bowls, which is the furniture kitchen bowls can be made, dinnerware can be made, and buttons, your shirt buttons, if you observe the buttons which are in your garment, those are all actually compression molded. Large containers can be made, and the medical devices like ultrasound equipment, if you have seen in the hospitals, the ultrasound equipment, those are actually compression molded. There are multiple applications are possible. Even the switchboards which you see in the home, those are all actually compression molded. Okay, so there are many advantages, many applications are there in this process, and this is one of the this process finds application more in the automotive industry, because you see in the automotive industry, this is stamping, just quick stamping, it is very useful in this process, because the auto industry has been using this stamping process for a long time, so that they know very well to use this for their whatever product they want to make, like a bumper or fenders, whatever they want to make, they can do that. Okay, so this has become a very advantageous process and mature process for the automobile industry. Okay, so it has a diverse applications are possible in this using this compression molding. So it is a highly successful commercial process. Okay, so that's all about the compression molding. So I am just stopping here for today with this process. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, otherwise I will stop here. Any doubts?